you know what's going on? Maybe it's another drill. Commence primary ignition.
Four Midwest Guys presents Parsecs of the Force, a time for everything Star Wars.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it.
I have waited a long time for this moment.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
This will be a day long remembered.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Punch it!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Parsecs of the Force, a Four Midwest Guys production. I'm your host, B. Whitley, and with me, as always, is Mr. Brian Eckenbauer.
What's up,
What's going on, B?
Not much, man.
Hey, ready to talk some Star Wars?
Indeed I am.
All right, let's get right into it. Our very first topic, we're going to do a little change of, just for change of venue here, or change of screen. The first thing is Mark Hamill let out a little tweet here with a little bit of an artist rendition. Basically is kind of maybe perhaps foreshadowing Luke's fate in Episode 9, or what will Luke's role be in Episode 9. Spoiler.
Well, that was actually his tweet.
Yeah.
It said foreshadowing. So
Foreshadowing.
it wasn't just like he posted a picture. It
is foreshadowing.
It is foreshadowing. He said it.
So again, so we know that Luke, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker dies, or fades away. So he'll come back as a Force ghost. The question is, Brian, it's probably hard for you guys to read at home, but in the bubble there, it says "See you around, kid," which is
the bubble right up there, pointing right at it. See it? Follow my finger over the other picture.
You're pointing to R2D2, but that's okay.
No, I said in the other picture.
In the other picture, yeah.
In the other picture.
But anyway, yeah, in that little bubble there, it says "See you around, kid," which is the same words that he said to Kylo Ren right before the end of their little battle.
Right before he faded.
And he disappeared. So, question here, this is maybe a valid point, maybe not, but will Luke come back as a Force ghost to help Rey? Or is this going to be something different where he's there kind of maybe trying to always tempt Kylo Ren back to the light side? Maybe he's haunting Kylo Ren.
He could be haunting him. He do one of those little pop around the corners, and he's like, ha ha! Like, who was that? What was that going on there? I don't know. I think, and that's is he going to be a Force ghost?
I as far as I know, he's become one with the Force. Now, some people say because his mechanical arm didn't go with him when he faded away, that maybe he's just gone somewhere else in the Force. Which would be fine with me if he came back in physical form. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a spiritual form of some kind.
Right. Well, and the only reason why I say that is because we've seen Ezra and Kanan and everybody walk through the portal.
Yeah. And
go somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
And they didn't die.
No, that's true. So the whole time travel thing, you think maybe he's
not even the time travel. Maybe he's just going from one spot to the next, because Ezra and them did that when they walked through the caves.
You're right.
And they were on one side of the planet, and then they all of a sudden were on the other side.
So it could be that he's become not necessarily one with the Force, but is just using the Force to transcend somewhere else.
I mean, it could be.
It's possible.
I mean, you never know.
Be a new Force power, but every movie has a new Force power. So
it would be a new Force power if it was already kind of used with Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels is technically canon, I guess. So yeah, okay, all right.
But even still, it'd be something new haven't seen before.
Yeah,
I just don't think we can eliminate that and just say he's definitely going to be a Force ghost. I mean, I would put it on the 95%.
Yeah,
that he's going to be a Force ghost.
Yeah.
Maybe even higher than that. But
right.
There's always a chance that it could be something else, especially after Leia passed away. Mm-hmm. Maybe they are going to change the story for 9.
Sure. Yeah, they have to.
So that an original member is there to talk,
to pass the baton.
Right. So maybe they're going to tweak the story just a little bit so it becomes Luke.
Oh yeah,
instead of Leia.
He comes back in physical form. I have no problem with that whatsoever, because I want more of Luke. I want to see Luke go out on a much
grander scale.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm all aboard as far if that's concerned.
But that is interesting news that he would put that out
yeah, to see that he put that out, and then he puts foreshadowing, and he put hashtag foreshadowing above that picture. So, yeah, I'm not sure what he's hinting at. You know, I don't know. The see you around kid thing though almost makes me think like, is he going to be the one that tries to redeem Kylo Ren? Is he somehow involved? You know, it just that see you around kid is a little. I don't know. It could be taken a couple different ways. Obviously, who knows? But we're obviously speculating because we're only 4 Midwest guys and we have no connection to Lucasfilm whatsoever.
We don't get much connection to Hollywood here in Cincinnati.
So, but yeah, it could be a couple different things. It'll be interesting to see if we get more artwork or more clues as Episode 9 progresses from Mr. Mark Hamill's Twitter account. All right, so let me get us back to the main screen here, and we'll move on to the next topic at hand. So, next up on the news feed is so there's an article on cinemablend.com saying that there is a as we know, sometimes when these toys come out, especially Legos and other figures,
play sets, and these Funko Pops
in this case, sometimes things are revealed. Some things
before the movie
even comes out that we
kind of spoils it for everybody.
You can kind of so spoiler alert again. This whole show we're just speculating though. There's no real spoilers, but nevertheless you've been warned. Spoiler alert. In this case, this report basically says that there's a 2-pack of these pop Funkos, and these are the ones with the big heads and little bodies. They're figures.
Basically, what's been happening is Funko's been putting together movie scenes lately. Instead of doing just the individual figurines that I got a ton of them, but instead of putting together, they put together a 2-pack with action scenes. They did a lot of Star Wars of the original trilogy not too long ago, with like R2D2 and C-3PO landing on Tatooine, and then they did a couple other scenes. Now we're getting word there's no pictures of it.
Nope.
And so it could be just
pure rumor.
It could be just pure rumor coming from this Cinema Blend.
Yep.
That they're trying to start something, because I went on the Funko website and looked, and they have all their stuff for the Solo movie all listed when it's coming out, and that 2-pack is not on there.
But the 2-pack is Chewbacca and Boba Fett. So,
which would be badass.
I mean,
if he's in this movie,
and if he is, props to Lucasfilm for keeping it under wraps this far. I mean, when Solo first came out, the first thing people were saying was, "Well, you got to have Boba Fett in there. If you're going to do a Solo movie, you got to have Boba Fett." And then nothing. Nothing was said. I heard nothing about it, other than people maybe mentioning it in passing, but there was no news report. So if they've done this to this extent and kept keep it under wraps, bravo to Lucasfilm to this point for keeping something like this under, even if it's just a cameo by Fett. But I think if they're putting Chewbacca and him together, I don't know.
There's got to be some kind of conversation.
Yeah, something bigger goes on maybe. So could be seeing Boba Fett pre-Sarlacc pit, mind you.
Oh yeah.
In this make his big screen debut return, so to speak, because that was the last time we saw him when he fell into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so this would take place well before that. So it's not inconceivable that we could definitely have Boba Fett in this movie. And what role he plays, is he going to be part of Enfys group? Is he's not necessarily a Cloud Rider. Maybe he's another bounty hunter they run into. Or,
yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I think it's gonna be a bounty hunter, maybe working for Jabba.
Maybe he's working for Jabba. Maybe he's working for Vader. There's been rumors that Darth Vader's in this movie. Okay. That's been going around for a little while now.
Now, so the person who I think is going to be, like, if we're going down the speculation road real fast,
sure.
The person who I think is going to be in this movie is the original wearer of Leia's bounty hunter costume.
Oh yeah, oh god, that's gonna drive me nuts now.
The one with the bomb.
Look it up on your phone.
I mean, I actually have the 3-pack over here. Let me see if I can. Hold on.
While he rummages through our junk, and there's a lot of it. Yeah.
Boosh.
Bosh. Yes, yeah. There you go.
So, I have the original
The re-release.
The re-release of the
Yes.
of this way.
Bosch, Bosch. Boosh. It's Boosh. I'm sorry. Boosh. Boushh.
Yep.
So that was the original bounty hunter.
Yeah, we'll put that right here.
Yeah, nice job. Way to go, B. Way to think on your hand.
Yeah,
Think on your feet.
Yeah, I try.
All right. So Boba Fett solo movie. Sounds like I'd now go from 10% chance of him being in it to maybe 50, as high as 50. Now.
I mean, you got to still take it with a grain of salt, though, because we have, like we said, we haven't heard anything about it. Mm-hmm. We did hear a rumor that we would probably see other original characters in this movie, but it was never like who or what or when. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't mind seeing Boba Fett.
Who wouldn't? I mean, come on. But speaking of Solo, we'll continue with Solo. And I'm going to take us back to the other screen again here. So we go back and forth a little bit here. And I'm going to change out some graphics. And so the Solo soundtracks was released this week by Lucasfilm as an official release. So we're going to go ahead and show you as best we can the picture of the back of. I'm assuming this would be the back cover of the CD itself.
Right.
So the first one is The Adventures of Han. Now this is
this is way spoilers.
Yeah. This is music composed. We've talked about it before. I think a little bit on the show, and I know we've definitely talked about it off camera. That John Williams wrote and conducted a Han Solo only theme for this movie. So again, what that is, what's that going to sound like? Is it part of the Han and Leia? Is it not? Is it something completely brand new? We're not sure. I can't wait to hear it. Unfortunately, we have to wait until the 25th to get our hands on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Brian, about the theme?
I think we touched on it before. I think it's just going to be part of the Han and Leia theme. You'll hear
little pieces
of it, but I think it's going to be its own new composition.
Okay.
Since it is kind of his last hurrah of the last thing he's going to write, he said, or he did say it, didn't he?
Well, he's going to do episode 9 and then he's done.
Right.
Supposedly, but yeah.
So I think that'll have little pieces of the Han and Leia theme in it.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of going down the list real fast. There's obviously an introduction to Han. I'm sure that's where we'll hear more of his theme. There's one called Flying with Chewie. So maybe that's the first time him and Chewie pilot together.
Yeah, it could be that scene that we see in the movie. The trailer.
The train heist. So there's music just for the train heist, which I would expect from John. Well, not John. I'm sorry. This would be Pal.
Right, but Pal's following.
Yeah,
he's following John Williams' formula. So
that awesome train that we've seen time and time again in the trailers is definitely there. Is this seat taken? Now that's an interesting one. Is that where Han takes control of the Millennium Falcon for the first time, or is he just boarding the Millennium Falcon for the first time? I'm not sure. The other thing, there's a song called Lando's Closet. Boy, is his wardrobe getting special treatment.
Yeah.
Not only have we seen it, if you've seen the Donald Glover tour of the Millennium Falcon, and he shows off his cloakroom. He has his own cloakroom, and now apparently it's going to be a big scene in the movie because it has its own music. I
was reading an article today. I don't remember where it was on.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how it's getting steam that Lando's going to get his own film.
I wouldn't be surprised. I heard his performance that's what, out of all the early reviews, non-spoiler reviews, people again they keep talking about Donald Glover's performance, like he almost steals the movie. He steals the show.
And that's what I heard, is that he might actually get his own movie after this.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Or maybe it'll be a Lando and Han movie.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Since whatchamacallit did sign on for 3 movies.
Might as well. I don't mind the new big 3 being Han, Chewie, and Lando. I don't have a problem with that at all. Next one down is the mine mission. Now this is interesting to me because this says Spice Mines of Kessel. I think this is where Chewie's at. I think this is where we see Chewie do the flip over of the stormtrooper and break on his head, literally smash him into the ground.
Okay.
I think that's where that happens. I think this might be where Han meets Chewie. Maybe this is where the life deck comes in. He rescues him from the Spice Mines of Kessel. so to speak, and maybe that's where it starts.
It could be.
know?
When we're watching, yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, copy.
I'm not even going to go into spoilers or anything like that. We'll just keep going with the...
All right. There's one called Breakout, so obviously maybe they're imprisoned at some point and they get captured. That
was in the trailer.
Yeah, and you see him in the shackles.
And he's like, whenever I led you
astray. Yeah. So, and there's some music about the standoff, obviously. In fact, they call it the Savarine standoff, and I'm pretty sure that's that scene where we see
on the desert.
Mm-hmm. You got Han and Chewie
standing in front of
Infinite and the Cloud Riders and the gang. So I don't know. I wonder if that would have almost like a good, the bad, and the ugly kind of thing kicking. Or
it looks like it. I mean, this is from what we've seen so far. This looks like the closest thing we've gotten to a space western.
Yeah, since the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah. So there's and then the last track on there is called Dice and Roll, which to me is where Han wins the Millennium Falcon from Han Solo. But we've speculated back and forth on that one before too.
When what?
Lando winning the Millennium Falcon, or Han winning the Millennium Falcon from Han Solo, or
from Lando.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you. Man, ugh, tongue twister. So yeah,
rewind.
So Han Solo winning the Millennium Falcon from Lando Calrissian. So yeah, I definitely think that's what happens there. So we got a little bit more clues about the movie and what's going on, and so it should be. I think it'll be pretty interesting.
I'm still excited to see it. After seeing the last trailer, after seeing the trailer in front of Infinity War in the theater, and it was just like, okay, I'm ready to see it now.
Yeah, because you got the full effect.
Yeah, like I'm ready to see it now. Watching the trailers on TV, I was kind of like, we're skeptical about a lot of things, and then you watch it on the big screen, and you're just like, yeah, definitely ready to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, like holy crap, wow.
Yeah.
So let me switch this back here. We'll go to the next topic. Oh, where I did that. All right, so there's been there's a report on StarWars.com. There's a new series of books coming out for kids, like young readers series. This happens quite a bit. I think this happened with The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens, one of the two. They did the same thing. I think it was before Force Awakens, actually. Anyway, it's going to be a series of young reading books called The Fastest Hunk of Junk in the Galaxy. It's unclear if there are short stories all in one book or if they're going to be separate books, but it sounds like it's going to be different points in the Star Wars timeline. So probably the classic trilogy as well as the Force Awakens, Last Jedi era. Different stories taking place on board the Millennium Falcon, or the Millennium Falcon being the focal point for these different stories throughout the Star Wars timeline, which would also include the Solo timeline.
Right, so kind of like what they've been doing with that Forces of Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Little
excerpt,
yeah. I think I would like to think that they would put it all in one book, but they may do. Maybe it's a series of books coming out because it does say new book series. So maybe
I was like, what they probably are going to be doing is it's probably going to be one of those like
Volume 1,
like those Scholastic book clubs, where you can buy this, and they're like they're paperback, real flimsy, and it's like 12 pages.
Right. Yeah. So
and they're like $2 or $3 a piece.
Yeah. There's one called Lando's Luck, and I think there's going to be a Luke and Leia adventure in there as well. So there's different stuff going on throughout the Star Wars timeline, which I think is pretty cool. And I think the other big point to make here also is in some of these stories they're going to feature the planet Batuu, and you may wonder, or if you've heard of that before, that is the planet that they're building the Star Wars theme parks around. So when you go to Disneyland or Disney World,
you'll be able to, so the kids will know what they're looking at.
Right. So they'll be going to Batuu. That's where you go. That's what the Star Wars park is themed around. It's this planet. So it's featured in these books. Good Disney marketing, obviously, because you want your kids to be able to go, oh yeah, I read that, and so and so, and I saw that, and so and so, and been there.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so. So, pretty cool series coming out. I don't know, anything else? Any other thing you can think of?
No,
me neither.
No.
So we'll move on.
It's a book series.
But it is cool, though. It's always cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so there was the solo premiere that happened in L.A. Jon Favreau was there for our next topic, and there he was interviewed by Nerdist.com, and Nerdist interviewed him before they released the video, and in their article, Jon Favreau says that because Jon Favreau is doing this live-action Star Wars series, which is going to be on the Disney streaming service,
Correct.
whenever it launches, which I think is summer 2019. So they quoted him as saying that the series takes 7 years after the Battle of Endor. Of course, Battle of Endor takes place
Return of
the Jedi. So everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome! It'll be that that unexplored area between where Jedi ends and before Force Awakens picks up more towards the middle ground." But in reality, apparently, when they released a video, Mr. Favreau does not say Endor, but says 7 years after the Battle of Yavin. For those of you who don't know what the Battle of Yavin is, that's the battle in the original Star Wars movie where they blow up the first Death Star. Now, when you take 7 years after the Battle of Yavin in the Star Wars timeline, that still takes you after Return of the Jedi. However, instead of 7 years after Return of the Jedi, it's only
way closer.
Yeah, it's only 3 years after Return of the Jedi. So it's supposed to be all new characters, new planets. So to me, this sounds like we're going to get a series about the New Republic trying to build itself up, and we see a retreating empire at the same time. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting my guess is what's going to happen is we're going to end up getting. I don't really want to speculate on it because I just want it to be.
You want it to be what it is?
Yeah, I want it to be what it is. But what I think it would be we're going to get Snoke's arrival. Like that'll
cool.
Like that'll be. It may not be season 1 or season 2, but that could be like the hinting down the road, and they're like. The new big bad coming in is Snoke,
right?
But we might see.
Guess you see Leia, you see Luke.
We're gonna see
Ben Skywalker.
Exactly, we're gonna see Ben Skywalker. We're gonna see that. We might actually see Luke's academy, the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, where they came from, maybe. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. And it still touches on that whole era that we don't know much about, which is between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, which is roughly 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. So basically we get 27 years time frame
to play with. Yeah, which is vast. And they could still go off in their own corner of the galaxy and do their own thing, which I think they probably will. But they will hint at these different things along the way. And they'll tie in with other animation features, other Star Wars projects and movies probably going on as well. So I'm super excited to see. I'm glad that it's Jon Favreau. I think he can do it justice. We've talked about this before when we first heard that he was getting a live-action Star Wars series. Also, the other thing he did say, and this, I forgot to put this in the notes, but that they're going to use a lot of the same technology that he's used in the Jungle Book, and that he's also using for the Lion King.
Right, is
going to be in this series as well.
A lot of the CGI stuff.
So it sounds like a lot of motion capture to me.
I don't know if it's motion capture, but it's a lot of up-to-date stuff. So, and it's movie quality. That's another big thing.
Yeah.
That it doesn't seem to be like they're going to be using, how sometimes the TV budget is way less.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they're going to be doing that.
No.
It sounds like they're going to be using movie budget.
Yeah, I could actually see them I see a lot of motion capture for some reason. I see a lot of people as aliens and different creatures in the Star Wars universe, but they're using actors with the motion capture.
Oh no, I
performances kind of like
I see that
Avatar.
Happening. Yeah, I see that happening, especially how they did with Maz Kanata.
Yeah,
Kanata or whatever her name is.
Maz. Yeah.
But I can see them doing motion capture. But I think when he says we're going to do a lot of CGI stuff, I think you're going to see a lot of the scene, like a lot of it, like
the grandiose scale,
yeah, like
Star
grand
Wars
schemes. Like I saw some of the behind the scenes stuff of the Jungle Book, and with the actors in a room kind of like this.
Yeah,
and he's just like doing this and talking to what looks like just like a metal object or whatever.
Right.
But it's actually the snake, and you can see the snake wrapped through the tree and everything else, and it all looks almost realistic. Right. But it's an entire
world.
and he's in a little studio like this. So I think that's kind of what he's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
we're using a lot of that, so everything's looking realistic, but
Yeah.
we're not going to have to be on locations filming these places.
Right. So they'll be able to cut the budget there and save some money.
It'll be cool.
But it'll still be awesome, I think. Yeah, absolutely. So, so some really cool new information coming out on, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about the characters, who they are, what race they are. You know, maybe it's all completely brand new, which I'm perfectly fine with, because that just expands the Star Wars galaxy and mythos to play with. So, all right, and our final topic for tonight is probably not a big news topic or big deal, but it has been revealed that there is no, or will be no, post-credit scene in Solo. For anybody who was wondering.
Yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed, but at the same time, there hadn't been anything in any other ones.
Star Wars has yet to do it.
Yeah, so, but everybody just kind of figured, since Disney was kind of taking over, that, and All Right has been already said, and he's in 3 of them.
Yeah, or he's signed for 3.
Yeah, like that there would be
something
afterwards. But they've said no post credit scene.
Well, maybe it leaves something open in the movie itself, though, where they.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be an open ending.
Yeah.
But I just think it'll be funny because, a lot of these people that they're not really into the movies. Like, they like going to the movies, and then they like sitting there and waiting for the extra credits because they've seen all the... Because Disney owns Marvel. Yep. And like, well, Disney owns Star Wars. We'll just wait for the credits and just watch all the people just sitting there waiting. They make fun of people. They make fun of people in, like, the Marvel movies for getting up and leaving as soon as the credits start rolling. They're like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? And now you're going to see them in the Star Wars, and they're still sitting there because they got made fun of for the last time they left. And then people are walking out like, what are they doing up there?
There is no post-credit scenes.
Yeah. This isn't the post-credit scene you're looking for.
Move along. Not a whole lot of big surprise there. So, all right. Well, that pretty much concludes our show for this week. Brian, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yep, and I'm B. Willie saying, may the Force be with you always.